Randy Preston claims his tooth was chipped when a security guard violently threw him out of a party. Luke Plummer says the drunken plaintiff was fighting, so he needed to be forcefully removed.
Okay, Mr. Preston, you are suing Mr. Plummer for $600 because his actions caused you to have your tooth chipped. What happened?
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm a senior in college, and I just wanted to enjoy one of my last house parties that I was going to go to, and ended up leaving with a chipped tooth because of.
So you're at the party, and what happened at the party?
So Luke is standing, and he's acting as security at the door. He's patting people down.
At a house party?
Yes, ma'am. He's checking people's bags, letting people in and go. There's a long line because it's a lot of people at this house party. So I go in the line, and he starts patting me down, and I didn't like it because he's not a real security guard, Your Honor. He's just a guy.
Do you know him?
I don't. I've never met him. I know his cousin. That's who was house party it was.
Okay.
And that's all I know.
Okay, so he's patting you down, and you don't like it.
I don't.
Go to another
I let
party.
him do it.
Okay, yeah, you let him do it.
I let him do it because I wanted to come in.
Right, because you wanted to go in, okay? Because it's not your house or your rules. All right, so then what happens? Do you say anything to him?
Your Honor, I may have been like, why are you touching me? Are you security? And he's like, yes, Your Honor, I'm security, and different things like that.
Well, he didn't call you Your Honor, I'm sure of that.
Yeah,
but he said, yes, I'm
you,
security, and all right, so anyway, you go in, and then what happens?
All right, so Randy is at this party, and it's packed. 50 to 60 people just vibing, until a troublemaker appears out of nowhere. Drinks are spilled, elbows are bumped, and Randy is already seeing red. Now, before you start thinking, this sounds like just another drunk fight, let's pause and think about how the party security, Luke, is supposed to act in this situation. Is it really his job to be throwing people out like that, especially if they haven't been violent yet? And the fact that Randy didn't even know this guy causing trouble. Would you have pushed back at security if you were Randy? Drop a comment with your thoughts.
So I go in, I see my friends, and I instantly go back there with them, hang out with them. There's music, there's people dancing, there's drinks, it's a huge party. It's a lot of people there. It's like 50 or 60 people there. I'm not sure exactly. I see this guy to my corner of my eye. He's causing problems. He's spilling drinks. He's, pretty much just being a party pooper or whatever you want to call it, And I look at my friend, I'm like, this guy's gonna be a problem. I already know, because he's going group to group, he's like jumping around everywhere. So about 15, 20 minutes later, that gentleman comes up and he starts causing problems in my group. He starts bumping elbows with me and my friends, spilling drinks on us and dancing. So I walk away from the situation and I go tell the security guard, Luke, that this gentleman's doing it, he's causing problems, and everyone just doesn't seem to enjoy him at this party. So I let Luke know that, and I go back about my business. I go hang out with my friends and continue the party. And I'd never seen him do anything about it. I don't know if he did. I'd never seen it because there's a lot of people there. So the next thing I know, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, I lost track of time. That gentleman comes up to my group again, and he actually just punches me directly in the stomach, Your Honor. Like directly,
Had you had any words with that guy?
I've never spoke to him. Like I said, he came up to our group and he was bumping into us and different things like that.
Just bumping into you? That doesn't say anything?
He was dancing. He was just going group to group and different people. I've never seen him.
Was anyone else with him?
He didn't. He was just going group to group.
Did you know the guy?
Never seen him in my life, Your Honor. I've never even seen him in class.
Was he age appropriate? Like, did he seem like he was a college student?
He was definitely a college student.
Okay. And so he punches you, and what happens?
I go defensive. I push him back. Because, I don't want to punch him back or anything. I just push him, Your Honor.
And then?
And then I go to look to see where Luke is, because, a lot of motion or commotion, everybody's surrounded. And Luke's actually grabbing me, Your Honor, from behind and pulling me out the door. And before I can even do anything or say anything, he grabs me and he just throws me. And I land face first into the concrete. And that's when I didn't notice at the time that I chipped my tooth. I just wanted to get out of there, Your Honor. I was trying to grab all my things.
Whoa, hold on. Did Luke just throw Randy face first into the concrete? That's a serious question here. Was Luke acting in the heat of the moment, or is this just an overreaction on his part? Now, Randy might have been upset, maybe even resisting, but throwing someone onto concrete, that's a whole different level of force. Do you think Luke was justified in using such aggressive force? Or was he just trying to flex his security muscles in front of a crowd? What would you have done in his position? Let me know what you think.
Was there blood?
I saw a little blood coming out of my nose because I was bleeding a little bit because I hit face
Did
first.
any of your friends run out to help you?
I don't think so, Your Honor. I think I was just maybe like one or two.
You got to get a better class of friends.
I do. I just graduated, so I have a
whole new set now.
Right.
So did they call you to find out if you were okay?
Yeah, I had friends that did check on me the next day and was like, hey, I heard you got thrown out the party, you know, different things like that. It wasn't like they saw it, I don't guess, but they did call me the next day and say, hey, we heard you got
How'd you get
injured.
home?
I took an Uber.
So when did you realize that your tooth had been chipped?
So what I was doing, I was grabbing all my things and trying to get in the car as fast as possible because I didn't want any more interactions with Luke.
Were you yelling at him when he was dragging you?
I was pretty upset, Your Honor. I was.
Were you swinging at him?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not fighting or anything like that.
And now, we hear Randy's revelation. His tooth is chipped, and he didn't even realize it until the next day. You've got to wonder, though, with all the adrenaline from the altercation, who would notice something like that? But the fact remains, Randy's got a seriously messed up smile now, thanks to Luke's actions. We see the picture, and it's no small thing, half a tooth is now fake. This isn't a case of just a little chip, this is serious. How would you feel if you were Randy, walking away from a party with not just a bruised ego but a physical injury that'll cost you? Comment below.
Next day you realize your tooth is broken,
I noticed
or that
it in the
night?
Uber, and I started gathering my things and trying to get home.
When did you go to a dentist?
The next day, because it was like my entire tooth. I have a picture here.
Can I see the picture? Do we have?
I have an entire fake tooth now, Your Honor.
Jeez.
Half a tooth is fake because of that.
Wow, that's not a small problem.
Right.
I thought we were going to be talking about a tiny little chip.
Coming up on Justice for the People.
So, Your Honor, I'm sure you've been to parties in the past. I'm not sure
You
you've been
think?
to parties where that got out of control.
I've been to parties where shots have been fired.
Wow.
Okay? I'm
Yeah.
from Miami.
And later,
We did get into an altercation because she was speaking to one of our close friends named Brian. Everybody in our group knows that I have feelings for this boy.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with a dispute between Randy Preston and security guard Luke Plummer over a chipped tooth.
Mr. Plummer, let me hear your version of things.
Your Honor, all I was doing was my job. So my cousin Johnny, he holds a party every year at the end of the school year. And every year the party gets bigger and bigger. And ultimately he needs somebody somebody he trusts, somebody who works out to enforce security, enforce peace, really. All I'm doing was my job. So
What's your job again?
So
He doesn't have a job, Your Honor.
No, what's your job at the party, do you think?
My job is to enforce security, check people, make sure there's no guns, no drugs.
Okay.
Check the bags, there's no knives, and then let them in. So he comes in, and I'm trying to pat him down, and I'm trying to ask him to raise his hand, but he was resisting. He was basically saying, you know, I've never been to a party that I've been pat down. Why is this? This is BS. And I'm like, come on.
Luke's defense is that he was just trying to do his job, but does that mean throwing someone into concrete is acceptable? He claims Randy was the smallest guy and that's why he grabbed him, but throwing him out that way seems more like a personal choice than professional judgment. The real kicker. Luke admits there were other people involved, and that there were plenty of witnesses to the drama. Was Luke so concerned about being the tough guy security guard that he didn't think through his actions? Do you think Luke took things too far in this security situation? Drop a comment.
Let me pat you down.
I need you to stop. He's the security guard that owner of the house picked, so you don't like it, don't go in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was patting him down, but I'm like, hey, I better keep an eye on that guy. But, Your Honor, there were many people in line for the party, so I had to make sure to
So
process
what
them.
happened?
Yeah, so
Did he come up to you and tell you, hey, that guy over there is just bumping from people to people, and did that happen?
He did about half an hour later. So I was I was still in the door, patting people down, making sure people are okay to come in. So like he said, he comes in, and he tells me that he and another gentleman there's some trouble with a man.
I need you to stop interrupting.
Yeah. So,
and this is the last time I'm going to tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he came in, and the music was loud. But he's like, hey, another guy's causing trouble. So I'm like, okay, let me go over there. So I go in, I follow him. At this point, he was cooperative.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah, so I come in, man the door, and ultimately, 15 minutes later, maybe 20 minutes later, I hear a noise. And I walk in, I turn around, and I see two guys just shoving each other. So, Your Honor, I'm sure you've been to parties in the past. I'm not sure if you've been to parties where that got out of control. First thing I got to do is take care of the situation.
I've been to parties where shots have been fired.
Wow.
Okay? I'm from Miami.
So
go on.
Yeah, so we don't want that to happen, right?
Right.
Especially with college kids. So I walk in, I grab the first guy in, and it was Randy because he was the smallest. And
wait, so
he
you
was
looked for the
me.
smallest guy and grabbed him and did what?
And I dragged him, and he was kicking and screaming and resisting. And I grabbed him, and I opened the door, and I had to basically open the door hard and toss him really hard out the door.
I think you're watching one too many Westerns. Do you think that's your job? To throw a guy into concrete?
I feel that I had to do what I can to.
Really? Why didn't you do this? Pull him apart and then tell him you need to calm down because you need to go and give him a chance to walk out on his own. Why didn't you do that?
Ideally, I would love to have done that, but I had to make sure
But he was so small that you could just throw him against the concrete.
I have to make sure to take care of two gentlemen, Your Honor.
Yeah?
Him and another guy. So I had to come back and grab another guy.
Yeah, but see, you think that separating them entails you throwing him into concrete, and it doesn't. Separating them doesn't entail you throwing him into concrete, throwing him out the door like it's a Western.
All I did was throw him out the door.
Yeah, well, don't throw him out the door. If you feel you can't let go of him, then you go outside until you're both outside, and then you let go of him. Why do you have to throw him out the door like you're in a Western? You're not John Wayne. Who do you think you are?
But Your Honor,
you broke his tooth. You don't think there's a consequence to that?
There is, but he was so resistant that he was going to go back in and get back
when you say resistant, are you the only one separating them? What is everybody else in the party doing?
They're watching.
When you heard that his tooth was chipped, you didn't feel bad? You didn't say, oh, maybe I was a little rough?
He was drunk at the party.
What are you talking about? The guy came up to you and told you, hey, there's a guy there causing trouble, and next thing you know, you see them fighting. So there was a guy there, in other words, you don't know who even hit, by the way, who hit first?
He hit me, Your Honor.
Okay, so you don't even know who hit first. All you know is they both got to go, and I don't disagree with that.
Right.
But you got to take him, why? Because he's smaller? What the heck?
Now, this is where things get even more interesting. Judge Milian is not holding back. He's questioning whether Luke's actions were truly necessary or just a power move. Throwing someone out the door like it's a Western? Was that called for? Milian makes a solid point. When dealing with a potentially rowdy situation, separating the individuals peacefully should be the goal. Instead, Luke's forceful ejection seems to have only escalated things. And the kicker, Randy's chipped tooth, well, that's the consequence of Luke's over-the-top handling. Do you think Luke should have been more careful, or was Randy just in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Honor, I dealt with that situation the best way I did.
No, you didn't.
Separate both of them.
No, you didn't deal with the situation the best way possible. The best way you could have dealt with the situation is to separate them.
I did.
Right,
Yeah.
and then let him walk out on his own accord, tell them both they have to leave, or you walk out with him. Or if he's kicking and screaming, because that's what I would do if you grabbed me, but if he's kicking and screaming, then take him out and then let him go. But you throwing him into concrete just so you can show what a macho you are has a consequence. And the consequence is $600 for the plaintiff.
All rise.
Judge Milian has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $600.
Maybe you should pick on
we're not
somebody your
done.
own size next
We're
time.
not done.
My bailiff informs me that as I was walking out, you issued a threat to Mr. Preston and said, this isn't over. Is that accurate?
I said it.
Yeah, this is over. My ruling makes it over. I am issuing a direct order to you to stay away from Mr. Preston. You know who's bigger and tougher? Me. You got it?
Okay, folks, this case is wrapping up, and we have a ruling. Judge Milian is siding with Randy. That's right. Luke has to pay $600 for the chipped tooth. That's a hefty price for a house party security guard who went a little too far. Milian's message is clear. Force should always be a last resort, and just because you're in charge of the door doesn't mean you get to throw people around like rag dolls. So, What's your take on this verdict? Do you agree with Judge Milian's decision? Let me know what you think in the comments.
Coming up.
Everybody in our group knows that I have feelings for this boy. She heard it, she knew.
This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. Rosalia Martinez claims she got a ticket after her friend improperly displayed the neighborhood parking pass in her car. Courtney Jackson says Ms. Martinez is just out for revenge because they both like the same guy.
Okay, Ms. Martinez, you're suing Ms. Jackson for $250 because you say that it is her fault that you got a parking ticket. All right, tell me what's going on here.
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct. I was having a pre-party before the Halloween street fair.
Okay. How many people did you have at this party?
I had about 10 people at my party.
And how is it that the two of you are friends? How did you get to know each other?
We actually have a mutual friend named Kelly, who I've known in college. And Kelly was actually friends with Courtney in high school.
Okay.
So we all hung out as a group. And then the first time me and Courtney met, we clicked. She became my close friend ever since then because of Khaled. And we've stuck together like glue.
But wait, this case isn't quite over yet. As Randy is walking away with his $600 victory, Luke throws in a parting shot. This isn't over. What's up with that? I mean, come on, it's over. Milian's ruling is final, so why threaten the guy who just won his case? Is Luke just being sore about the whole thing? Or is there something deeper here? This doesn't feel like the last we'll hear from these two. Do you think Luke will come back for revenge?
So tell me what happened on that day.
So that day I had a parking pass that I needed to put in my car because we had a Halloween street fair.
Okay. So you weren't allowed to park there unless you had the pass that shows you lived there.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So I asked her to put the parking pass in my car.
Okay.
And she accepted, and she was kind enough to do that for me.
Okay.
And then after that, we did get into an altercation because she was speaking to one of our close friends named Brian, who I have deep feelings for, and everybody in our group knows that I have feelings for this boy. They've mentioned that, oh, there goes Rosalina's boyfriend, Brian. She heard it, she knew, but for whatever reason, she wanted to be flirtatious on Instagram, and I came up to her.
What exactly did she do on Instagram that made you mad?
She was saying, oh, Brian, you look so adorable. You look so cute.
Okay, she was flirting.
Coming up.
And what did you get a ticket for?
Because it wasn't placed correctly on the mirror.
Okay.
It tells you where it needs to be placed. Not on the dashboard, on the mirror.
This is Justice for the People with Judge Milian. We're back with a case of Rosalia Martinez, who blames ex-friend Courtney Jackson for a hefty parking ticket.
Okay.
And so we had the altercation. I let her know why she was flirting with Brian when she knew I had feelings for him. She thought I was crazy. She was telling me that it was all in my head, and we basically just did not speak at the end of the night because of that.
Okay, and then what happened?
So the following morning is when I went to go check up on my car because I want to make sure that everything was okay. And right in front and center, that is when I see the ticket.
Okay, and what did you get a ticket for?
I got the ticket for because it wasn't placed correctly on the mirror. It was on the dashboard.
Okay, talk to me.
I don't know why we're here. Genuinely.
Probably because you were flirting with the boy she likes.
That's what I think too. I think that this whole thing has been blown way out of proportion. She asked me to put the parking pass in her car. That's what I did.
Okay, was it one of those that has like the slit that is pretty obvious it goes on?
No, it's not. It's just.
Well, it has to be, otherwise how can it go on the mirror?
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too.
There's no way you can be right is what I'm saying. If it had, can I see your ticket?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you happen to have a copy of the parking pass or no?
Yes, I do.
That is the parking pass.
This is the
I
pass?
have the citation over here.
Must be hung rear view mirror. Wait, they expect you to cut a hole? How did it work? Was there a hole here? I don't get it. I don't get what this is. Explain it to me.
I gave her tape.
Yeah, I know what you, so you gave her what?
I gave her tape.
There was no tape.
Hold on. Go ahead, talk. You
I
gave her tape
so she can put the ticket on the rear mirror.
Except for you never told her to put it on the rearview mirror.
It says right there, it's really self-explanatory on the right-hand side.
It does say rather big, must be hung from rearview mirror.
Yes, and Courtney's lives in
Stop
the
talking.
city.
So did you not see that?
I did not see that. We were at the party late at night. She asked me to run
Because
out.
obviously there's no bad blood between you guys at this point.
At this point, no, none at all.
Right.
When
was it you were texting the boy she likes? During the party?
Judge Milian's verdict when justice for the people returns.
And now, we've shifted gears to the next case, Rosalia Martinez versus Courtney Jackson. This is a different kind of drama. What's the issue here? A parking ticket, of all things. Rosalia blames Courtney for not putting a parking pass in the car the right way, which led to a hefty fine. But wait, there's more. The tension isn't just about a misplaced pass, there's also a love triangle with Brian at the heart of this dispute. Is it really just about the ticket, or is there something deeper going on? You can almost feel the tension building up already. Stay tuned for the drama to unfold.
Are either one of you dating that boy?
I am.
You are? When did that happen?
It happened after the Halloween event.
Okay. First of all, I don't really care if the reason you're suing her is the flirtation and the Brian thing. My job here as a judge is to call the balls into strikes. And I realize that you're saying, well, look, if she had just read the pass, she would realize that. But that basically what you're asking me to do is put the onus on her to read your pass. If you delegated to someone else to put the pass there, then you should have read your pass. And you should have said to her, listen, I need you to put this in my car, and I need you to put it on the rear view mirror. Here's some tape. Hang it from the rear view mirror. You needed to say all those things to her for her to end up being responsible for the ticket. She did the one thing you asked her to do. You said, will you put this pass in my car? And she did. She wasn't trying to hurt you by putting the pass a certain way. If you don't give her specific instructions, then she's not responsible for reading your pass and knowing how your pass on your car has to be affixed. It just doesn't work that way. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
All right, folks, Judge Milian's verdict is in favor of the defendant, Courtney. Rosalia just didn't give clear enough instructions when she handed over the parking pass. Milian's ruling? It's her fault, not Courtney's. And just like that, Rosalia loses her case. But it doesn't end there. The love triangle has yet to play out, and the tension between these two is far from gone. Who's in the wrong here? Was it Rosalia for not giving clear instructions? Or was Courtney just caught up in the drama? Let us know your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this wild ride, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns. You don't want to miss the next case.